Going live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. You're
Also,
live.
good to be live again. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Good. Good. How's it going on your end?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Getting there. Been a busy couple of weeks, so yeah, we'll give an update in a minute when Petri comes on. Um, hasn't been fully to plan in that we have been focusing on other things for reasons we'll explain in a moment. Just waiting for Petri, but making good progress at the same time. So yeah, lots to talk about. How are you doing? I haven't spoken to you for 2 weeks since we spoke last time, I think.
Yeah, no, it's been we just messaging each other, right? But in between, but yeah, no, we haven't spoken yeah, in 2 weeks. It's fast, doesn't it? It feels so fast. It's like I thought we just had it like a couple of days ago, our stream, but I guess not. Yeah, no, everything is going well. It's the world is changing fast. I'm really
Same.
geeking out on this new world of AI agents, and I think it like we kind of have to if you're living in this, if you're working in this digital world, living in this digital world, you kind of have to not have to, but I think you if you choose to, you're gonna see a lot of opportunities and a lot of like just possible success because you're kind of flowing with the tide, so I've been excited with that world. I got like the pro plan for Cloud Code, and I've just been like never really been much of a tech guy, but I dove right into it and was like, let me just see what I can do. And reading a lot of articles, reading a lot of XAI stuff, and just diving into it. So it's been an interesting last like month and a half, but the last 2 weeks have been really been dialed.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't have enough time for the moment. That's my frustration. Like, I want to go deep on it, but I've been testing a bunch of AI tools for, marketing use cases, like BD type growth type use cases. I'm trying to like I've built a few sort of custom tools for SEO, for blog creation, things like that. And it's so easy to do, even for like a non-developer now, that everyone, it's just going to be the future. You can see it, but it seems like every month there's something new, like some hot new toy, like OpenClaw or whatever it is, and it seems like you kind of have to be on it almost 24/7 in order to stay on top of the trend. Like it's just moving so fast, and
It's crazy, yeah, and I follow Greg Eisenberg.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. He's the man, isn't he? He's like, yeah.
yeah, he's good. He's like he's on like on the pulse of everything, So I watch a lot of his videos, like talking about how to implement a lot of these things.
Like,
Yeah,
how much of it do you think is like hype and total BS versus actually this has a tangible benefit? Because I remember 6 months ago, all the influencers in that space were banging on about N8N, and I went down the rabbit hole and used it quite a lot, and it's good. But the amount of time it takes to build automations with N8N and manage them so they work, flawlessly, it's
mhm.
actually a massive time kill. And obviously, the whole space has moved on in 6 months, and we're now using OpenClaw and Claude and all the rest of it. But how much of it do you think is hyped by the sort of the social medias?
Yeah, I think it's like honestly, a lot of it is hype, and a lot of people are just trying to right now get like engagement bait in a sense, and get like likeness and retweets and engagement. This is in general just like throwing things out there so like, oh, we can get engagement. Like I was trying things out when it came to AI UGC stuff. That's possible, but still we're kind of far away from it, from many people like implementing all this type of stuff, because it's not as far along as we think it is. So a lot of people are overreacting just to get, I think, likes and follows, and they're like the lead magnet tweets, right? That you see like comment below, blah blah blah. That's like the things that are doing extremely well right now. But I think there is definitely some value behind it. I definitely think like where we'll see the most. I don't think what we'll see in the next 2 years is like AI agents replacing 50% of the job market. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think what they can do is a whole new market can come up, a whole new market for creators can come and take advantage of what's happening. And I think that's real. I think that's super legitimate. And if you're still using ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, these LLMs as this prompting engine, like prompting tools and resource tools, and like also like kind of like like a search engine, you're behind. Like there's many now. You can do so much with these these platforms, and I think that's kind of where I see it happening. A lot of people are going to be software engineers in the next 5 to 10 years, whether they're deeply involved in the software engineering world, or they're just like doing super like high level or so like high level things, but not nuanced, like detailed things. Like something we're doing with StreamYard, it's really hard to vibe code that. That's going to take still hours, days and days and days to vibe code something or code something like that using a Claude, right? But helping people create high-end websites, or helping people create like a scraper or an outreach agent that can do it automatically every single day at a certain time, people aren't going to want to do that. The people that aren't very technical and aren't online, like I would say dental people, real estate agents, insurance agents, right? They're not going to want to like learn how to do this. They're too busy with their own operational side of things. But what they will be open for is having an AI agent help them with the operational side of things, right? So yes, I see that being big. I don't see the like I'd see everyone being somewhat, if they get involved in this world, somewhat of a software engineer, but they're not going to be like a Petri, right? They're just going to have like Petri can be 20 times better using AI, I think, as like as a tool. But someone like me, I'm not so technical. I'm going to obviously see a huge percentage return because of have like my floor level 0, right? But now I'm able to do some things and code it online and utilize the digital economy, not just in the marketing side of things, but also in the technical side of things and another way.
But like the trend is so clear. It's like if you don't get involved now as a non-tech with these agents and you don't learn the basics, in 12 months from now, you're never going to be able to catch up because the whole space will have moved on so much. That's what I feel anyway. So whilst I'm trying to carve out like a couple of hours a week just to experiment, just to build some little things, just so I can keep my sort of knowledge graph going in the right direction.
And and when you do it,
I think you're screwed. It's like
I agree. I think
you're going to be so far behind. You, like, I don't even understand the startup point of this.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I definitely felt the FOMO when I saw people talking about Claude Code, all these different powerful things you can do with it. And like a month and a half ago, I'm like, what the heck? I'm so behind. I thought it was just another hype bubble, but then you really see it and you use it. You're like, oh, this can actually be helpful. So I think once you start using it, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is actually really good stuff. Like this is going to optimize my work 2x, my production 2x. I'm going to be able to do a lot more. It'll help. It's just diving into it. Like some people have been doing it for 6 months, so their return has been so much higher. So then they make a tweet and you see their tweet, you're like, you feel like you're just like, wow, I'm way behind, but you're really not. Like the learning curve in the beginning is pretty steep, but then once you kind of get into it, it kind of moves exponential.
Yeah, I think also there's a real power in doing it yourself. And that I've been testing a platform called Marbleism that someone recommended to me. I don't know if you heard of that one, but basically it's like a team of AI agents. Like our team's very lean at the moment, so I'm trying to get as much help as I can for sort of outreach and getting calls in the diary and whatnot. But I was really frustrated with it. Like the experience hasn't been great. Like I've briefed it so many times to do a specific thing, and then it fails on that brief. Like it's not like looking in the right geographical region, or it's not doing outreach to the right sort of job titles, the right sort of people. And I can't believe actually how blunt it is, and like it's not that sophisticated at all. And this is what this platform does. I actually spoke to them earlier today and sort of complained and said, look, your agents aren't that smart. Like, this is the value of doing it yourself. Like, so my weekend job is I'm going to build this agent myself with OpenCore and Claude, and like I think it'll be ultimately that much better and worth doing.
What are you trying to do with the agent exactly? Like just do like scraping, outreach, stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm starting to do outreach on LinkedIn using agents to investors, potential partners for Streamer, anyone that's in the sort of tech video streaming space. Because like I don't have time to sit all day on LinkedIn like clicking buttons. So, and this thing can, in theory, it can do it whilst I'm asleep, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, it's the way forwards. But it is with any early tech, it's kind of a bit of a leap of faith in that that agent is representing you, you know, as a human, as an individual, and it could do anything. It could write anything. It could send anything. So I've been sort of testing the water with it at this stage. Like I don't want to let agents loose on my social media profiles right yet, because I don't think they're quite strong enough. And I remember vividly, like 4 or 5 years ago, we were using bots on LinkedIn to do outreach to investors and, you know, try and generate leads and stuff. And some of those bots just sent the wrong message to the wrong people, but they were very blunt and unsophisticated. And I remember getting a complaint from a VC who I was connected with and knew. And I said to him, "Look, I'm sorry, man, it was a bot." And he's like, "Oh, right, I didn't realize you guys could do that." And I was like, yeah, of course. But that's the new world. But I think the agents, you know, if you're building your own custom agent, then I think it's going to be good enough to, you know, to do that. So I think that's the next step in my journey with it anyway.
I think you still kind of need like some guardrails around it. But yeah, sorry, Petri, I want to add something.
We should let Petri talk, because Petri uses AI to do some pretty sophisticated stuff rather than.
Yeah. So my take on AI is that, okay, the world changed last month when Opus 4.6 came out. I mean, it's a totally different thing from all the other LLMs out there. I mean, if you look at the scoring in some kind of AI benchmarks, it doesn't score that high compared to others. Okay, there's like the Google models are on top of the list and so on, but it really makes me think that these models actually have been optimized to be good in these benchmarks. That's my thought, because Opus 4.6 is so much better. Now it can actually do some useful work. It can actually so-called replace junior coders, and it can be actually, yeah, I would say it's a better employee than a junior coder would be.
Wow.
But it also comes with a price. So Opus 4.6 is very, very expensive, but still the price of using Opus as a junior coder replacement, it's half the price of a real coder.
Surely much less than half the price, no?
No, not that much. Not that much less. I mean, it is definitely like, because I have been now that we are in this lean organization, I'm using Opus a lot. I mean, really using it to replace one coder. So it costs like 2,000 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah. If you,
this is where like we see the already.
So maybe I was exaggerating. So it's like 1/3 of the price of a junior coder. But yeah, it is. I would say it's even better in some respects. But it's this kind of. I would describe the situation is that like as if you were like pair coding with the junior coder and giving exact instructions. So it's taking up quite a lot of my own time. But I would describe that it's like a good junior coder. In some respects, much better than that, because it has a lot of knowledge about all kinds of things that a junior coder would not have. And if you are, I mean, as the manager, if you are able to give directions to Opus in coding, so then it is better than a junior coder, because Opus knows even if you give it some very sophisticated instructions, it will know what you are talking about, which junior coder wouldn't.
Yeah.
So that is about the level that now has been reached with Opus 4.6. So it needs constant monitoring. It's like pair coding with the junior coder. But I think when we reach the level of Opus 5, I think then it will be totally awesome.
There's an interesting dynamic that you just touched on, Petri, is like you're dealing with Opus. It's much more efficient for you as a lead developer or CTO because you brief it and it gets the brief first time, 100%, does the work, comes back to you. Whereas if you're leading a team of junior developers, you're spending time on calls, you're engaging in Slack, trying to answer their questions as a leader. And actually the dynamic now is that, you know, that back and forth process presumably is a lot more efficient, right?
Yes, and this like accuracy and documentation. I mean, when you use the plan mode in Cursor, that is like my working cycle, that I've always used the plan mode. Of course, so I ask it to do some refactoring, for example. That okay, refactor the code to minimize the use of worker threads, for instance. So it creates a plan, and then you can review that, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to give the corrections. And if I was working with a junior coder, he would never ever have the time to write this kind of detailed description that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I mean, simply impossible for a human being to write that much text.
Yeah.
So it is pretty awesome.
I mean, it's awesome and it's not. I mean, it's kind of a sad thing because, you know, this whole thing about AI replacing jobs, like in our sort of organization, we kind of see it already. I mean, it's not that we actively went to replace jobs. Our funding was cut, you know, because what's happened with the token and what have you. And now we're in a position where we can't afford to hire, you know, developers. And so this is where we go to. It kind of, like our hands kind of been forced in our particular scenario, but it is one of those clear examples where employment has been replaced by agents or AI. It's a sad thing, but that's the world.
Yeah, kind of. But there's also this other thing. I mean, we are in kind of in an exceptional situation as a company. Like, okay, we ran out of our funding because of this crypto crisis, and so we had to do like this. But in other companies where there's no such thing with funding running out, so I have heard reports of other development happening, and that is that, okay, now that they are using AI, the coders simply produce a lot more product features, a lot more code. So I got a complaint from one CEO of, because he's like CEO, CTO kind of guy. I think he had like six employees, and he said that, okay, now my employees are producing so much code, so many new features, that I'm running out of time reviewing all this and thinking that I'm thinking about the product, that which way shall we develop the product, because new features are coming at a very, very high pace from my developers.
Yeah.
So I think the products in this kind of companies, the products will develop a lot. I mean, they will improve a lot. You will have all the features that you have always dreamt of, but never had the resources to like implement them.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, that should be true on the sort of marketing and growth side of things, and sort of all things commercial. You know, as these agents get more sophisticated, then why have a marketing team or a growth team of 5, 10, 15, whatever it is, depending on the size of your company? All of this can be replaced by agents, which again isn't necessarily a good thing from a human perspective, but that's the way the world's going. We're seeing it happen very, very fast. Like I was speaking to an investor a couple of weeks ago, and you know, it was an early pitch on sort of Streamer, and I was trying to get some feedback from him in terms of what he thought of the pitch. And he said, "So, how many employees do you need for this in the next 24 months?" And you know, my answer was not very many, because of the way that AI is going, and he agreed with that fully, and he liked that response. So yeah, maybe investor perceptions are changing as well in that regard. Like VCs used to say to you, you know, how much money can you spend and how quickly, because they want to get the investment money spent, and they want their companies in their portfolio to either succeed or fail, so they can know whether the company's going to be a success or not. And they want companies to scale as quickly as possible. It fits their model. But maybe the mindset on that is changing to more kind of, okay, how lean can you build this business? From a human perspective, anyway. So, anyway, this is a really interesting conversation. I wanted to talk about decentralized AI and the cost of decentralized AI and performance of decentralized AI versus Opus. But I think we need to move the conversation on and talk about Streamer probably, because we're 20 minutes in and we haven't talked about what we've been up to. So,
and stuff.
Yeah,
that's a real interesting concept too. Yeah.
What is decentralized AI?
Yeah, well, like you saw what happened with the subnet 3 for BitTensor. It happened like 2 weeks ago. They had like a 72 billion parameter LLM from Templar. It's called. You know the ecosystem really well. I remember you were telling me about it a year ago, and I heard about it, but you were really sold on it back then. So yeah, it really. I mean, that's probably where the alpha is lying right now. It's like in decentralized AI, you know. So it'd be cool to see how we can integrate that into what we're doing.
Yeah, BitTensor's getting a lot of traction at the moment.
What was the product called actually?
What's that? Sorry, Patrick?
Yeah, could you say again the name of this decentralized AI?
Yes, so BitTensor is not an AI system itself. It's like a ecosystem of decentralized AI projects underneath them. BitTensor is a number of things, but one of the things it is a tokenomic model loosely based around Bitcoin tokenomics, which incentivizes decentralized AI projects to come and build underneath that tokenomic model with subnets. So there's something like 200 subnets now, and some of those models are quite impressive, as Adeev was saying, and it's getting a lot of traction in social media at the moment, in crypto Twitter, because Chamath, and he was speaking to Jensen Huang, NVIDIA, and he name dropped it. And then Jensen said, yeah, it's a cool project. And now the token price is running a little bit, even in crypto winter, and it'll come off again, no doubt. But I've always been a fan of BitTensor, because if you look at the kind of founding principles around BitTensor, they are massive decentralists, and they really believe that AI needs to be decentralized. And if you go down that rabbit hole, you start thinking in those terms as well. And I think it's important. But the ecosystem that they're building is really, really impressive. So it has been for years, but the technology's there as well now. So I think, like, when I get some time, I want to look really at the models and how they're performing and comparing versus Claude, OpenAI, etc. So,
and that's also another reason. Like, I think you're right. The main reason why it ran the price was because of like these guys shilling it. These big VCs, big billionaires are shilling it.
They're in, right? Their funds are in.
Yeah, exactly. They're pumping their bags. But what's his name? Jason something. I forgot his name. He's also like, he's been, you know, he tweeted the other day, Tau is greater than BTC, right? That's their ticker name. But what is really interesting on the technical side of things, the subnets. One's called Templars. Subnet 3 is like the third subnet ever deployed on BitTensor, and it has over 72 billion. It had a 72 billion parameter trained permissionlessly across 70 plus contributors on commodity internet, the largest model ever pre-trained on fully decentralized infrastructure. So I'm not like what that means on technical terms. It just mean that a 72 billion parameter LLM is pretty insane, all on like 70 different nodes, I'm assuming, or contributors, not on just like OpenAI, right? How OpenAI creates all of it, but that's also a pretty bullish thing that I think they were able to accomplish.
Petri, I'll send you some links for bedtime reading later today, because it is fascinating. But so the subnets were originally designed to incentivize compute for model training and proper AI use cases, but now subnets are being spawned for other kind of use cases adjacent to compute. So like with Streamer peer-to-peer, we could in theory build a subnet for inference, for low cost inference and data transport. That's an opportunity, of course, that we don't even have time to discuss, never mind follow up. But if there's anyone out there listening to this that is interested in such a thing, then come and speak to me, because I'd love to have that conversation and support where I can. Anyway, let's talk about streamer video. Yeah, okay. So we haven't been very prominent recently in social media and what have you, because Petri and I have had our heads down, frankly, with the grant application. So we're refunding the project in two ways, with grants in the EU, and we are doing a seed round as well, VC-backed seed round. So we started that process. That process takes quite a long time. The grant process is quicker, but the application process for these grants is intense. So that's what we've been doing for the last, I would say, 3 weeks straight, actually. And we finally submitted this grant application last night. Yesterday was a 14-hour day, I think, Petri, straight. And we still were about half an hour before the deadline. So, but it's good that we've done it, because now that we've made that grant application, we can make others relatively easily. And it's because it was such a thorough application, we went through some quite extended and detailed thought processes about our strategy going forwards. I'm not going to name the grant because I don't want to jeopardize it in any way, but there's various EU grants open at the moment that we can apply for. The reason that money is there is because, as we've talked about before in these calls, there's a need in Europe for independent, resilient technologies, communication platforms, and that's being driven by governments across the EU. We talked about France moving away from using Zoom, Microsoft, and Google, because they're worried about security, privacy. We've also seen German and Austrian military do the same thing in recent months. Denmark's following suit. I think all the European countries will follow suit. So there's this big movement in Europe at the moment, and we can tap into that because we're a Swiss-based project, EU-based project. So yeah, that's what we've been working on for the last 3 weeks, actually. As a result of that, we are going to pause the commercialization of the beta launch. So what I mean by that is we were going to launch a freemium model whereby we were going to charge a percentage of users for the more premium features. We're not going to do that because our grant application means that our product needs to be pre-market. So we have this prototype, which is fine, but we're not going to commercialize it. We are still going to launch the beta in April. So Petri will give an update on that in a moment, but obviously it's been making progress on that behind the scenes. And yeah, it's going to be 1 click to live stream, or a few clicks to live stream, super low friction UX, as we talked about before. So yeah, that's coming very soon. We didn't host the call on Streamer today because Petri hasn't had time to ship the latest updates. But anyway, yeah, go on, Petri, you go.
Yeah, so the beta is coming, and it's going to be free in the beginning. So that's kind of the message, because we are not allowed to charge for it because of this grant application. So that is the story. I have been working on the implementation of the beta version quite a lot, and there has been a lot of things done, a lot of progress being made. So the reason why why we are now on StreamYard today is that I wasn't able to deploy the latest version. I didn't have the resources because I stayed up because of the grant application last night so long. But what has been now done is that I have been working on on getting it to work on Safari and on mobile phones. So that's one very important thing. It is almost ready. I mean this multi-platform support thing. Then I have worked on this different kind of user roles. So we have now implemented a proper user role model in the version that you saw in the last building in public call. So there was no actual guest role there. So when the guests arrived, they were actually joining the teleconferencing session between all the speakers in the call. And this is not desirable for many reasons. First of all, if somebody is really a guest, somebody coming out of the blue from the audience, so we don't want to let this guy to join the teleconference between the speakers to see all the video and audio tracks of the other speakers. So it's an issue of security. Another point is that on the other hand, we don't want to waste the resources of this this guest who is joining. So because the guest really doesn't need to be able to see all the video and audio tracks of all the other speakers there. So now I have implemented a proper guest mode where the guest is receiving the same viewer stream as other viewers and displaying that. And then the guest is sending their own video and audio tracks over a dedicated streamer stream to the host. So this makes this guest mode much more lightweight. So it will be possible to guest to really join from mobile phones and on mobile networks. You don't need much bandwidth for that. So this is one new mode. I mean, also user role that I have implemented, but there's also other additional user role that I have added, and that is the remote camera role. So it means that you are using mobile phones as cameras, and you open the streamer app in a specific camera role using a specific URL, and this is even simplified version of the guest role, this camera role. It means that the user in the camera role is only sending the video and audio tracks to the host and is not receiving anything. So this role is meant for the situations where let's say you are filming a sports event and you want to place cameras on both sides of the field. So you do that by opening the guest role streamer app in two mobile phones, and then you place them in the sides of the field, and those camera roll streamer app instances running on those phones, they are sending audio and video to the host, who is also running Streamer app and directing the show, meaning that the host is selecting that which camera is outputted at which moment. And this user role is very even more lightweight. As you heard, it's only sending data, it's not receiving anything, and this is very important if you think about like the bandwidth restrictions of mobile devices and the power consumption of mobile devices.
Yeah. So Petri, come the launch of the beta, it's going to be, I mean, for sure, there's going to be some bugs, right? I mean, we're a small team. We're trying to get this to market as quickly as possible. And we're going to need feedback from the community in terms of what's working and what's not. You know, that's really valuable. But it's going to be quite an advanced streaming product, you know, at beta launch, right? I mean, it's quite feature heavy, I would say, for what is essentially a prototype. So, yeah, I think we're all quite excited about that.
Yes. So our aim is to be much better than StreamYard when it comes to usability and features when it comes to this broadcast use case. But in addition, we are aiming at getting this teleconferencing thing to work also on mobile phone, also on mobile phones. And that means that we are actually, in many sense, better than, let's say, Google Meet, because you know, you have probably tried joining a Google Meet session with a mobile phone, and it requires you to install the Google app, and then, or you can do some tricks and try to request for the desktop websites on the mobile phone, and it's really a horrible experience. And here comes this thing that, okay, if you're using the app, then you need to be logged in into the system. And okay, people usually nowadays have many Google accounts, and what if this call link is coming from let's say your hobby group, and you are logged in with your working profile in Google. You need to log out and so on. It's very difficult experience. So because we are browser native, and we don't require the people to log in, it's going to be a much smoother experience also for mobile users. You can really join the teleconferences just like that without any hassle.
Yeah, I've lost count of the number of times I've been late for a call and I'm logging in on my mobile, and then it's like, which Google account, dig out my password, then my 2FA, by which time I'm about 10 minutes late. Everyone's pissed off with me. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think also we haven't, because we're just so flat out trying to raise money and Petri's building, we haven't done any serious like partnership or BD outreach or marketing yet, and the demand is there. I mean, Petri and I were talking about it yesterday, but just organically, like we had a couple of calls go in the diary this week. One from like a collective of marketing agencies who are interested in the tech. They brought a tech person along to the call, and we took them through everything streaming video, how it works, what streaming network is. They asked all the right questions. They were super engaged, and I think that the general consensus in that meeting from their side was that if this works, this is insane. So that was quite encouraging. And we spoke to another streaming Web3 community platform earlier this week. We should get our CEO on this call actually, because she was great. But she's looking to use Streamer for all her content creators. So, you know, it's every time we talk about it to potential partners, then there's a lot of excitement, and we're now in a place where we almost have a product to show and for them to use and test and play with, and we've never really had that before. You know, we've talked about video streaming for 12 months, It's not an easy thing to do in a serverless fashion, obviously. And every time we've talked about it, there's been a ton of excitement, but we've not been at that place where we have like the working product. It's quite hard to sell something if you're just selling a pitch deck, right? So yeah, with the launch of this beta product next month, it's going to be a big step forwards for everyone. So it's exciting. It's really good. Okay. Yeah. What else to cover off, guys? I think that's it in terms of the update. We're going to continue we're going to get this beta out the door in April. I'm continuing to raise capital and refund the business.
Yeah, but I had this one topic in mind about the AI in Streamer app.
Yeah,
so we are definitely going to integrate AI agents into the Streamer app, but it's not going to happen at the beta. It's going to happen later. But I'm very excited about this possibility, and of course, because we are decentralized things, so we are going to support all kinds of models. I mean, not only the big players, not only Opus, so on. We're gonna support self-hosted, connecting to self-hosted models, and maybe as Mark mentioned, there are also these decentralized LLM producers out there. So we also want to provide that option. But then it comes to the question of, well, what are we going to do with the AI agent there in Streamer? And that's pretty exciting. There are a lot of opportunities there. Of course, we can do the normal. I mean, what is expected from us, the baseline. Okay, you can generate backgrounds with AI. Maybe you can generate videos with that.
Okay,
there's much more that you can do.
Yeah, this is a big trend that's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. Obviously, is generative video. So, like the wild card idea here is, and this isn't core to our strategy right now, but like, you know, I want to better understand where generative video is, because there's certain platforms where you can create quite good stuff. Like VO3 is Google's gen video model. Adib and I were playing with that last year, and it's getting better. It's not getting better as quickly as I thought it would. Like I was looking at some VO3 videos earlier today, and they're all right, but not like you can create proper production quality entertainment with it.
Higgsfield.
Say that again.
Higgsfield. You remember we kind of looked into that too, like mid-year last year. It's pretty good now.
Is it? I haven't looked at Higgsfield for some months, but I need to look at it again. But I think the point is that like Netflix and that model of production is going to die and be replaced by episodics, feature-length films, documentaries, anything that's going to be generative video created. But there's going to be a winning platform for distributing all of that content, and that's Streamer could have a role to play there. You know, that's the wild card idea. So I mean, that sort of the future really excites me.
Because compared to the other players, we have this power of Streamer network behind us. So we can utilize that for like browser agent to browser agent communication. So we can think of things like implementing the agent to agent protocol. I think it was created by Google, A2A. You can Google that up. We could actually implement that over the Streamer network. So this AI agents running on each user's browser could actually talk to each other over Streamer network using the standard agent-to-agent protocol.
But those agents, you're thinking, Petri, is those agents are co-creating together, right?
Yeah, it's possible. Then once we have this baseline which is probably very easy to actually implement. So then we can start thinking that what kind of operations these agents actually support. So what can one agent ask the other agent to do? I mean, the agent running on somebody else's browser. So what kind of functionalities we could invent there? I mean, these agents could they could collaborate. They could somehow co-create. I mean, something like, okay, you please generate this video, and I will generate that video, and then the third one is going to the directing, then we go live on Streamer, and we go live on YouTube, and so on.
I would look at BitTensor and see which subnets are doing Gen video and how good they are. I mean, I don't think they'll be there yet. Like, it's too early, but things are moving so fast. I can imagine in 6 months or 12 months, you'll be able to get Gen video super high quality, cheap. Like BitTensor subnets are cheap.
Yeah,
because it's decentralized.
So actually, this designing these so-called tasks for AI agents, or yeah, I think the right term is tasks. That is a very difficult thing still to do. I mean, you need to think that what kind of interface you are going to provide to the LLM. Well, what can the LLM do on your website? What kind of operations does it have access to?
Yeah.
So that's something that I have been actually in a hobby project of mine. I have been working on that. It's by no means trivial. I mean, you need to really think that, okay, the AI, I mean, the LLM would probably need this and this data. The LLM should be able to, let's say, display an HTML page in an iframe. So you can add this kind of capability to your website. The LLM should have access to this data by giving this kind of query, and so on. So we need to really carefully, when introducing the AI agents to Streamer, so we need to think that what kind of things do we want to allow this LLM to do. So starting from basics, like, are you going to be able to start and stop the broadcast? So we would add there this capability.
Yeah.
Of starting and stopping a broadcast. Then we would add the capability of editing the scene. We would add the capability of adding a camera, capability of inviting a guest. I mean, this kind of things. It requires quite a lot of thinking, actually. But I think the result will be very interesting if we give a lot of power to these AI agents and make them able to communicate with each other. So they could really maybe even with the current technology, maybe they could be able to, let's say, run some kind of broadcast production of some sports event. That could be possible. So one agent starts to be the director, and then assigns the camera agents and so on.
Yeah, like, we need to look at it in more detail, but there's other use cases for agents live streaming video to each other. So, for example, this is perhaps quite a trivial example, but like on the factory floor, agents are going to be running robots. There's going to be reasons for to share live video in a production environment to warn other agents of what's happening, or to automate sequencing. You can think about live video streaming within kind of cars or automotive use cases. Surely that's the future where cars are driven by agents essentially, and they're live streaming video to each other for safety reasons or whatever it is. That's what the future looks like. So yeah, we need to keep on these things. I think your broader point, Petri, is we need to architect it in such a way that that's easy for these agents to come in and use Streamer for those use cases. So yeah, it's a really interesting topic. We should follow up on this next week, Petri, and get into the weeds on it. And build that into the roadmap. Really exciting. Cool. We always seem to do these calls when your children have music lessons, Petri. They're getting better week by week.
This time no music, but still a him.
I thought I heard some piano scales earlier.
But not this time. But yeah, it's already almost 7 here in Finland, so we are in different time zones. So
yeah, it's late for you, man.
Are at home.
Cool. Yeah. Anything else to cover off today, guys?
I think we covered a lot, and I think I'm happy to hear that we're moving in line with building the kind of, like you're saying, the infrastructure or this the template to plug in AI and have AI come in and utilize what we have already. So I think building with that in mind is super important. And I think that's going to give us a better narrative, better things to latch onto. We're not going to go against the tide anymore. We're kind of going with it. And that gives us more interest from outside investments. It gives us more interest from communities and from users, because I think that's where a lot of people that even are in the crypto space are looking now, which is, how can I get involved somehow and have an edge on this AI race, this AI frontier, right? How do I get more knowledge than the next person? It's not really it's funny how we're shifting from how do I make money, which is still important, not saying that isn't, but in the crypto world, it's how do I make money, from how do I get better at this better at this than the other people, faster at this, being better at it than others in a faster time frame, right? So I think we're kind of in that race right now, rather than the Bitcoin accumulation race, even though we always are in that race, but it's this is important. This is important for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so. I think just an honest reflection of where we're at. A lot has changed within our project in a very short amount of time. We're down to a super lean team. Petri and I are turning it around and trying to refund the business recapitalize the business whilst getting the beta product out the door. We are late on the beta product, but it's entirely understandable. Very small team, and so we're getting it out the door as quickly as we can, and people are waiting for it, which is exciting in a way, and that people want to use it. So we're very close now. But at the same time, we have got one eye on sort of what the medium and longer term future looks like. We see this clear need for independent and resilient communications platforms, as I was talking about earlier in this call, especially through the lens of Europe. But then, AI is just going to continue to come on thick and fast. And so, we have to continue to explore what that looks like for us in terms of product architecture, engineering architecture, but in terms of go-to-market as well. So there's so much opportunity out there. So we just got to stay on the right path and keep delivering against it. So that's where we're at. Okay, awesome. Great discussion as always, guys. Good to touch base, Steve. We haven't spoken for a while. So yeah, we usually we do these calls on a Wednesday. We just couldn't get to it yesterday. We were doing this grant application. It was non-stop all day and most of the evening. So we had to knock it back to today, but in 2 weeks we'll revert back to the Wednesday slot as per normal. And we'll keep these sessions going. So yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Petri. And we'll speak soon.
Yeah.
Right, thanks, guys. Cheers.
Good.
Bye.